yourself. We will have time for questions at the end, and we will ask people to either put questions in the chat or raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question, just so that we can keep some order and make sure we're hearing everything coming in. All right, well, we'll get started. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the webinar that we are having here today. My name is Heather Miller, and I'm the Director of Education here at World Services for the Blind, and I'm joined by one of my coworkers, Catherine.
Hey!
Catherine is our Employment Preparation and Workforce Development Specialist. And I'm excited to have her here with us today, as well as a team from Be My Eyes. And I'll let them introduce themselves in just a couple of minutes and get started with their demonstration. But I thought of something kind of cool when I was getting ready for today's webinar that I wanted to share with everyone. It makes today's webinar very relevant. This is Vision Rehabilitation Week. And Vision Rehabilitation Week exists to raise awareness of the services and resources that are available to people who are blind and visually impaired, as well as the professionals that work within that field. So I think we have a lot of vision professionals on here today, vision rehabilitation specialists, and a lot of vocational rehabilitation counselors. So a big thank you to all of you for what you do. And that makes this a perfect time to talk about an excellent tool that is out there to help people achieve their independence and their goals in employment. So we're very excited to have Be My Eyes with us here today.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Heather. I love that this is falling on just such a special week and that we get to take some time and focus on that. If you haven't been to one of our webinars before, hello and welcome. We love hosting these. We have many of them on YouTube if you'd like to check them out, ranging on all sorts of topics since we've been here in this room. And if you'd like to go through and see the evolution of this room, please do so. It's very, very interesting. But we've done webinars on general employment, on how to have that advocacy. We've done mental health in the workplace. We've done navigating online job applications and how to prepare for those. And so we're just so lucky today to have Be My Eyes come on and show us such an amazing tool and being so accessible to us and to answering our questions and just really getting into it. So if you haven't been to one of our webinars before, I'm so glad to have you here. Hope to see you again. And I'm so excited for this.
Yes. So with that, I'd like to introduce Kearns and Andy from Be My Eyes.
Hello. Hi, my name is kernslane. I am a account executive at Be My Eyes. Been with the company for a little over 5 years, and I'm joined by my colleague, Andy. Over to you, Andy.
Sorry, was that me to speak?
Yeah, just introduce yourself.
Hi there. So I'm Andy Lane from Be My Eyes, product manager. I've been here for 3, 4 years. I am completely blind, and I'm really excited to hopefully be able to show you what we've got here with Workplace with you today. Just for a second, Kearns, if you wouldn't mind speaking, so that I can work out this sharing. I'm hopefully nearly there.
Sounds great. And thank you to Heather and Catherine and to everyone else who's joining today. Really glad that we got to be a part of this webinar series because the work that World Services for the Blind is doing really sits at the heart of what Be My Eyes Workplace is built for, and that's what we're going to show you here today. So WSB is preparing people who are blind or visually impaired, not just to use technology, but really to move into real jobs and careers, whether that's IT, customer service, call center roles, assistive technology, instruction, etc. What we hear again at Be My Eyes from blind and low vision professionals, and this is something that's probably familiar to a lot of people on this call, is that the issue with employment is usually not capability at all. It's really around the little access gaps or the big access gaps, as the case may be, that show up in the middle of work. And that's what Workplace is meant to address. So a couple of examples. these gaps can present themselves as a document that you receive that comes through as an inaccessible PDF, or a chart that is shared in a meeting that's not described in an accessible way. Could also be something related to a software that updates and totally changes the layout of the software. Or it could be that somebody sends a screenshot instead of a text. So all of those examples, are not moments when someone can't do the job. It doesn't mean that person can't, fulfill that function or that role. But these do mean that, they slow people down during the workday, kind of take you out of your headspace when you're really in the zone at work. And I think a lot of times can create an uncomfortable feeling of needing to ask for help or for waiting on help if there's a remediation service in place. And that's really the problem that Be My Eyes Workplace is trying to solve. So the way that we think about it is that existing tools like screen readers are still foundational, and we are not trying to replace JAWS or NVDA or any other tool that people might be using. We are really trying to add another layer to that technology stack where the workplace environment might be visual or messy or not fully accessible. And so Andy's going to describe, the different ways that we do this. But I think a helpful way to think about this is that, we want to put the power to make things accessible back into the hands of the people who are using this technology. And for this audience, what I'd invite you to think about, while we're doing the demo, is really three things. So one is, where do these access gaps show up for you or for people that in jobs or in training programs? Secondly, where do students or employees lose time because you're waiting for somebody to remediate something or give a description of something that's visual? And third, for you to think about where a tool like this could help someone enter a job with a lot more confidence from day one. And so when Andy dives into the demo, we'll try to keep it practical, and we want to show a few of these moments. So understanding what's on the screen, handling a document like a PDF, and then escalating to human support when needed. And we'll definitely get to some questions afterwards. So I've been talking for a while. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Andy Lane.
That was some incredible ad-libbing there. Thank you very much indeed. Some serious apologies from me. For some reason, my Zoom just will not let me share my audio, which is, of course, the most important thing. So I've tried on Mac to share, I've tried on Windows to share. I cannot get the audio to share. So I'm going to go with a second best, should we say? And I'm going to just have a second laptop with the audio playing through my microphone. It's not going to be ideal. I so apologize for that, but at least you'll be able to get an idea of the most important part here, which is the audio interface. So Be My Eyes Workplace. I'm so excited to be here to talk to you about this. The purpose of Be My Eyes Workplace was never to...
Hey, Andy, we're getting some
Yep.
microphone feedback from your other device.
I don't think so, because that's not signed in.
Well, you are in a tunnel right now.
Yeah. Is that from me?
Now it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. I don't think, yeah. Okay, so Be My Eyes Workplace, we've got some incredible tools that we use to make the workplace a more accessible place to be. Screen reader, that's the most important one. It's primary. We're not in any way hoping to move the screen reader aside. But the thing is that I'm sure everybody here has had the same experience as me in that the screen reader is great But the world isn't always. The world isn't always an accessible place. So where the screen reader that we all use and rely on is able to interact with properly coded websites and CRMs and applications, we're all good. Everything's fine. But unfortunately, that's not the world that we live in. There are plenty of websites that have inaccessible controls, form fields, buttons that are inaccessible. And I don't know about you, but I just get to that point in my day and I just put my head in my hands and I just don't know what to do because now I've got to go into problem solving mode. I'm out of what I was doing, and that problem solving mode can take literally a day. I've been there before. I don't know whether everybody here has, but I'm guessing some of you will have done. So as Kearns was saying, we've got a tool there to be able to escalate up to people. So another place that the workplace can be inaccessible is PDFs. PDFs sometimes are accessible, sometimes they've been done with alt text, and sometimes they've been correctly created from text, but sometimes they're created incorrectly. Sometimes they are created from photos, which is even better, just photos of pieces of paper. So we need a tool to be able to have the equality and the autonomy to be able to do that part of our jobs independently. So we have Reader. So Workplace Connect is where we escalate to a person to share screen. Reader is where we deal with PDFs, and coming soon is PowerPoints. And then we've just got Screenshot. We call this Workplace AI. It's so powerful. I'll show you some ways that it can be used. But it's essentially it's bringing Be My AI, which everybody knows here, I'm sure, is something that Be My Eyes have been doing now since well, we're the first, I believe. And so we've brought that into the workplace as well. So I thought the first thing that I could do is to show you around the interface of the application. It's incredibly simple. The screen reader is where the power is. That's where the complexity is. This isn't about adding complexity. What we have here is some global hotkeys and a very simple user interface that brings the power of those tools to you when you need them. So we've got Mac OS and Windows. I'm going to be showing you around Mac OS because I'm excited about that one. That's relatively new and we're just testing it. So bear with me a second. I'm just going to slow my speech down.
Screen sharing. Screen sharing. Screen sharing. Close button. Shift screen. Snap shift screen. Command option J button. Shift screen. Screen sharing. Left group. Be my employee. Screen sharing. Shift screen. Command shift screen. Command option J button. Shift screen. Command shift screen. Close button. Middle full screen.
I'm hoping to.
Quick actions. Selected. Quick actions. Select quick actions. Selected tab.
Nothing's working today. Literally nothing. Even the things that are easy. Okay.
Group. Screen sharing group. Screen sharing group. Screen sharing group. Shift screen.
Andy,
Command shift screen.
Can we just take a quick, sorry?
I have an idea.
Yep.
I could share my screen, and if you want to just through.
How is this audio coming through, Kans? If I turn up,
J button. Group button.
How's that audio coming through?
I can hear that.
Okay, fantastic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to restart my voiceover, and hopefully we're going to get we're going to have a better time of it.
Voiceover on. Screen code on. Screen sharing. Share screen. Command option J button. Close button. Close button. Windows spots. Words. Characters. Navigation. Windows spots. Words. Rate 8%. Step 65. 60%. 60%.
Right. Now we're better. Restarting things always helps. Okay, so the Be My Eyes workplace interface.
Be My Eyes. Minimize.
Nice and simple. So I'm going to go from the top.
Be My Eyes. Quick options. Selected tab.
We have a tab bar at the top. Quick Actions is where most of what you'll be doing exists. Quick Actions, it contains all of the main features of the app.
Groups tab.
Groups is where you administer the groups for what we call Workplace Connect. That's where you will have groups. You can arrange these groups however you want within your organization. So it could be a friend group, it could be a IT support, it could be maybe an extra level of security, however you want to arrange that so that when you make a screen share request out to a group, you'll reach the right people. This is where you administer that.
History tab.
And history is where you get to a history of what you've previously done. I'll tell you about a little, quite a powerful way to use that we didn't plan for, but it's turned out to be really nice to use.
Add with Be My AI.
So in the interface, describe with Be My AI. This is what we call workplace AI. So we just take a quick screenshot.
Sidebar table, row 16 of 22. Macintosh H.
Hey, Andy,
And yep,
this has been really great. Can you slow it down for Arkansas
I
for
can
us?
slow
Just
it
the
down some
speech.
more.
I'm
Yep,
so sorry.
absolutely.
Sidebar table, open, dimmed, button, swinchen. Finder, VLC, Resilios Al Dent, Spotify, Be My Eyes, swinchen. Be My Eye, Be My Eye. Macintosh H, open, dimmed, button. Sidebar, open, dimmed, button, open, dimmed, button. Open, dimmed, Macintosh HD, swinchen. Be My Eyes, select a file, dial. Now in, Be My Eyes.
Sorry about this.
Quick actions, stop screen sharing, group close, button, share screen, share screen, share screen. Command Option G, button. Screen sharing, screen sharing.
I'm going to restart my voiceover again. Hopefully it'll let me slow down then.
Connecting. Application, alert, system dialog, allow Be My Eyes to find devices on local network. Allow, button, Be My Eyes, Be My Eyes, window, connecting. Voiceover off,
Okay, I'm going to turn voiceover off.
voiceover on.
Voiceover back on.
Link Be My Eyes and end call, button. Close, button. Close, button, close, button. Be My Eyes has no windows. Quick swinchen. Interact with the title of Color Bell.
Just bear with me a second.
Finder, VLC,
Thank you for
Finder,
helping us,
Finder,
Andy.
list view. In list, app store, applet, Alden, applet, app, audible app. Battery health 2 app, Be My Eye book player application, Be My Eyes application. Be My Eyes has no windows, Be My Eyes has no windows. Be My Eyes has no windows. Be My Eyes has no windows.
Need to restart. Kearns, would you mind stepping in and just showing this feature, if that's okay, please? Just workplace AI at the moment, please.
Be My Eyes has no windows.
I'm going to try and get
Yes.
this.
My eyes.
Yeah.
My eyes
Andy,
has no windows.
you're not going to believe this, and I feel incredibly embarrassed to say it, but I'm having technical problems as well.
Day.
Let me try.
And technology is great until it stops working on you.
I know.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about this.
Yeah, it's just it's really unfortunate when it's in front of a lot of really nice people who've given up their time, and it just we will get there, I promise you.
Swinchen. Button, remove library. Cancel. Button, locate. Default. The file that it could not locate the winch alert. It could locate. Default. Remove from library. Button.
Thank you for your kindness. That's very much appreciated.
No problem. We understand things like this happen.
Minimize. Be My quick action. Selected. Tab group. Tab.
I mean, not even being able to slow down my voice is that's an extra level right there.
65%. 50 plus close.
Right, finally got it. I got to restart and we've got it. Now let's go for Be My Eyes, see what happens.
The club. Be My Eye. Quick actions. Groups. Tab. Describe with Be My Eye.
Right, so
Beautiful.
deep breath. Workplace AI. I'm going to take a screenshot and it's just going to quickly send that away. And it is going to give me a description of what was on my screen. Now, this could be anything.
Back. Forward. Call. Change the Macintosh vertical splitter. Finder. VLC. Find Be My Eyes. Search text field. Folder shared with column view.
Would it be possible to raise your volume? Your volume went down.
Yep.
Change group. Button.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Screen
Thank you.
share out. Describe with Be My Eye.
How's that?
History. Describe in screenshot.
Better.
Describe with Be My Eye. PDF. Command screenshot.
Right. We're going to take a screenshot here. Here we go.
Be My Eyes.
So-
New window.
The Be My Eyes application has taken a screenshot, it's gone off to the AI, and it's going to come back with a description. And knowing my luck today, it's not.
Send message. Met 2 of 2 from Be My in text.
Okay, so here's the description that it came back with.
2 of 2 from Be My AI. 8:25 p.m. A completely black screen with no visible content. There are no visible messages, icons, button.
Okay, so I'm going to turn my screen curtain off.
Screen curtain off.
There we go.
2 out of 1 share chat button.
Do you know, this could go down in infamy.
Button. Skip to message input back button.
Right, we're going to try that again.
Screenshot. Command option.
Right.
Be My Eyes.
This is on my personal machine, so there's absolutely no promises about what's going to come back here. If it's okay, we've got a result back.
Method 2 of 2 from in text 2 of 2 from Be My AI. 8:26 p.m. Mac OS desktop with several overlapping windows open. In the center, a Finder window is open showing the Applications folder. In the list of apps, Be My Eyes is visible among others like Aldent, App Store, Audible, Automator, Battery Health 2, Book Player, Books, Calculator, Calendar, Chess, Clock, and more. The search field is at the top right of this Finder window. To the left of that, another Finder window is open with the sidebar visible. In the
Okay, so now a deep breath again. Looks like we're off and running now. So this is a really, really quick tool to be able to point at. Obviously, what we're showing here is not particularly helpful because everybody knows the Finder window, everybody knows the desktop. I absolutely love this tool for if you've got something on a web page that isn't making sense, screen readers not landing on things that you think should be there, or maybe there's a complete cart button that just won't, isn't visible to the screen reader. You can often get a lot of information from just this quick global hotkey. All of a sudden, you've got this session open. It'll give you a quick summary, and then you can go back in with a question, drilling down on what it is that you're trying to understand about that desktop snapshot that was just taken. It's a very powerful tool for data. One of the ways that I've been using it to sort of test it to destruction is to bring up circuit diagrams, flow charts, org charts, anything that's logical in its structure but impossible to represent with a screen reader. It just is so powerful. So I gave it a circuit diagram for an electronics course that I found online. And I said, what does this do? And it diagnosed what it did. I asked what would happen if I changed one of the components to another component. It was able to answer questions about the data that it was seeing, not just describe. So I don't know about alt texting that kind of image, but I can't imagine being able to alt text a data set, a chart, a graph in a way that actually represents all of the data there. So that's a really powerful way of using that tool.
I was just able to get mine up and running again.
You're up and running, are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want me to show that circuit example? I actually have an example of a circuit.
If you could show that, that would be incredible.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that on this machine.
For sure. Sorry to interrupt you. I just had a
No, really helpful. Thank you. I had that ready to go, but
yeah. Heather, can you see my screen here? Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
we got it.
Yes.
All right. So what Andy was describing, I will go ahead and upload an image, and I'll find. Let's see.
Yeah, if it's handwritten, it would be described very nicely.
Right. So I just copied this to my clipboard. So I will select the clipboard option.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to think for just a second.
Draw an electronic circuit diagram on white paper. Text at the top center. Dark detecting LED driver. On the left side, a 3-volt coin cell battery is drawn, with the positive terminal at the top connected to the rest of the circuit, and the negative terminal at the bottom going to the bottom ground line. To the left of the battery, the text reads 3V, coin, cell. Along the top horizontal wire from the positive side of the battery, there is a resistor labeled 1K. The resistor connects down to the base of a transistor symbol. On the right,
So you get the idea there. Really detailed.
Yeah.
I didn't understand any of that, so it's already doing better for me.
And just the power of being able to ask and interrogate about what if I change for this resistor? What if I change to this resistor? What will happen? It's just incredibly powerful as a data analysis tool. So that's one quick showing of workplace AI. There's another one that I think I'm going to risk it. I shouldn't risk anything right now, really, should I? But I'm going to risk
I think it's worth it.
webcam AI because so we've all seen that the screen readers that we use, they have the ability to look through your webcam, get you ready for a meeting, make sure that you are centered. They give you an X, Y, and you can take that X, Y and sort of move yourself up and down and around. What they can't do is
Yeah. Image. Command clipboard. Take picture. Command
take
option
picture.
W.
This is a risk.
Take picture button. Take picture. Applet take picture. But in system dialog, content is empty. Finder. Application. Be My Eyes. Be My Eyes. Window. Selected camera. MacBook Pro camera. Has keyboard focus. Change camera. Button. Take picture. Button. Message input. Dim.
Okay. I was moving my camera at the time then, so hopefully that took the picture at the right time. So the idea here isn't that I just get that simple XY of framing myself.
Send message. Send message.
Instead,
2 from Be My in text 2 of 2 from Be My AI. 8:32 p.m. Middle-aged man sitting indoors, facing the camera. He has very short light brown or graying hair, light skin, and a neutral facial expression with his lips closed. He is wearing a plain dark long sleeve top with a small Under Armour logo in white near the collar and white wired earphones, with one earbud visible in his right ear and the cable hanging down the front of his shirt. He is seated in a large black chair that has the word Bo printed in white letters near his right shoulder. In the background on the right side there is a framed black and white picture of a horse on the wall and a tall decorative light with several small glowing bulbs curving upward. On the left side of the background there is a doorway leading into another room.
okay. So we've got an idea of the fact that I'm a middle-aged man. I will never, ever get tired of hearing that on every single demo that we do. So thank you very much, Be My AI. So basically, it's saying that I am looking presentable, and we can ask it more questions, although we probably need to push on to be able to get to where we need to be. But that's a way of making sure that you look good and presentable, and clothes are looking good before going into a meeting.
Change group.
Andy, should we show the live
Connect.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think Connect should be next. So Workplace Connect, as I think Kearns had said at the start, and as I'd said afterwards, Workplace Connect is just about, I've got to a point, I cannot do the thing. Screen readers failed. Accessibility wasn't thought of. It's incredibly frustrating. It's incredibly frustrating and upsetting, I think is the word that I use. But with Workplace Connect, all you do is, instead of going through that whole rabbit hole of emotions and trying to problem solve, you just hit the hotkey. You select the group that you want to call. Hi there. Okay. You select the group that you want to call.
My Eyes employees with screen sharing.
Oh, you're doing it. You select the group that you're wanting to call, and then you will get somebody to pick up. They'll pick that call up. They'll be able to see your screen. Now, there's a security layer here because obviously they're taking control of your machine. So we would need you to kind of approve them to take to give permission to take control of your screen with their mouse. Once they do that, have you had that call picked up yet, Kearns?
No, I think because most of our company is in Europe, no one is logged in at the moment.
I'm going to go with because today is today. That's what I'm
Yeah.
going with. It's PC and Mac to that person who asked. Um,
And
so
your
here's the here's
policy inside the company, correct? Not a
yeah, that's
volunteer.
exactly right. So with inside your organization, you'll set up these groups. The groups can be, as I say, any way that you choose to set them up. You'll pick the group that you want to call, and then you just place the call. They have a web app which is in their browser. They sign in with that, and they'll get a notification from their browser to say that you are making a call to them and would they like to pick up whoever's available. So this is, I think I've kind of skipped bits because I'm flustered. So to me, I mean, I've been in a work environment for 20 too many years. And I've been in that place where I thought, oh no, I've got to go and find somebody. I've got to work out who's not too busy. I've got to interrupt them. I've got to assume that the person isn't going to mind. I don't know if they are going to mind. It's quite a stressful thing, I find it. Whereas what happens here is you're sat in your desk, you know that the person who's going to pick up isn't going to be somebody that you're intruding on. I'm not, imposing myself onto anybody's desk. I'm just putting a little pop-up on their desktop to say, if you've got a minute, can you take this call? They take the call. They're seeing your screen when they are taking the call. They see your screen. They then ask for permission to control your machine, and then you grant that permission. They can then take control of your mouse. You're speaking to them on a two-way. They hear you, you hear them. So a two-way call, and you just say, "Hey, well, I mean the demonstration that I had queued up for everybody here, which I'd love to have shown, was an HR training manual. It's inaccessible. It gives you some choices of things that you would do if a colleague of yours was being bullied. They assume that you've watched the training materials. You then get asked this multi-part question, but you can't move the things into order. You can't move the answers into order. So you would make that call. The person who would pick up would take the call, take control of your screen, and then just move those things into order, and then you'd be back on your way. It's a 30 to 45-second interaction, and it's done and it's finished. So the last question was, Kearns, did you catch that last question?
I didn't, but I think we might want to try screen share one more time.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Connecting.
We did have someone queued up ready to take this call, but unfortunately, maybe something's come up for her. Yeah.
I think there's an issue with the agent environment, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we'll have to scrap that.
Be my eyes employees with screen sharing.
We can send a video of this all working to you.
I mean, we can do better than that. We can get everybody set up with a demonstration, can't we? Just get everybody using it in a live
May I
environment.
ask a question?
Absolutely.
Okay, my name is Andrea DeClotz, and I am a
Hi, Andrea.
assistive technology instructor with Valley Center for the Blind here in California. My question is how we work, like I work remotely, so I work with students on Zoom. How would this help me? Say a student says, "Oh, my computer won't start," or "Nothing is coming up on my screen." How
Right.
would I be able to connect with them and be able to get take a screenshot of their screen, or maybe get an idea of what's going on their end to see how we can help them?
So, Andrea, I'm going to make an assumption that you're sighted, right?
I am not. I am totally blind. I think most
Oh,
of
you're
you.
blind.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this would be for somebody who's sighted to be able to give assistance to somebody who's blind. If you're a blind person taking a support call from another blind person, unfortunately, because it's a graphical interface, it wouldn't be something that a blind person would be able to sort of step in and
Okay.
and do. But in the case of where they are not good point there about remote incident manager. I'll come back to that. Thank you. Yeah, they wouldn't be able to call a blind person to get support, unfortunately, because it's all graphical. It requires the ability to see. However, you would be able to, on the phone with them, you would be able to go through the shortcut keys that they would have, and they could take screenshots and they could get a description. Maybe their screen reader isn't working, which we know should never ever happen, but it happens all the time. Where the screen reader isn't working, this will still be able to work. If there's no screen reader detected, this will step in with the system voice and speak. So if there's, say, an error message there or something that's stopping the screen reader from speaking, the user will be able to get a description of that, and get up and running again, understand the problem and diagnose it and get up and running. So Remote Incident Manager, it's a great application. There's lots of solutions for this. I really love RAM. It's a fantastic application. However, you need to know that the person that you're going to be calling is available. So this is solving a different problem. It's solving the same problem in an entirely different way. So Remote Incident Manager is set up so that you call Bill and you say, "Hey Bill, would you mind going to your RIM and typing in Bill Andy and hitting enter, just joining on my machine and giving me a hand with this? Can you just hit this button?" That works really, really well. I mean, it's expensive, but it works well. We're going at this in a different way. I mean, we're Be My Eyes, right? We've been doing these distributed calls out to groups for a long time now. So it's kind of bringing what we have done with Call a Volunteer and groups to remote desktop sharing that RIM has been doing their own way. So instead of having to call Bill and saying, "Bill, have you got a minute? Do you mind just giving me a hand jumping on this call?" The idea of this is that you just don't think about it. You just hit your hotkey, you select the group that Bill's a part of. If he's available, he can take that call, but somebody else in that group is also going to get the call. And if they're more available than him, if they've got time, you don't have to go through the kind of the emotional and the cognitive lift of getting in touch with one person and another, then another, then another, to try and find the one that doesn't mind giving you a hand on RIM. You just hit your hotkeys and then you're on with the person who is available. It's kind of self-selecting. Whoever picks up the call, didn't mind picking up the call. They were available. So it makes the setting up of that call much, much easier. Good question. Okay, so PDFs and Reader. I think I've got a PDF on this machine. I hopefully have the correct one.
With Be My Eye, describe.
By the way, Kearns, if you hear from anybody, then we can circle back and do that test call.
We do have one hand raised if we want to take
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Let's take that question.
Okay. Hello. My name is Tammy, and I'm here. I'm
Hey,
here in Little Rock, Arkansas. I work in a hospital setting, and there are privacy laws for patients here, the HIPAA laws that have to be adhered to. Could this software be used in this environment, or could it be set up in such a way to be compliant with HIPAA?
Kearns, you wanna do that one? That's your area, but as far as I'm concerned, yes, with SOC 2.
Yes. The short answer is yes. We can work with HIPAA sensitive information. Basically, the way that the application processes any on-screen digital content is with GPT Enterprise. So that means that it's a totally closed environment. That one, it's not crawling around your computer. It's not on all the time. It's only on when you initiate an action, when you tell it to do something, essentially. So that's kind of one protection layer. The second is that because it's GPT Enterprise as opposed to like um, one of the consumer focused LLMs, they're not using any of that data for training or machine learning purposes. Uh,
Uh-huh.
they don't even have access to it. We don't have access to it. And then kind of the third layer is what Andy mentioned, which is SOC 2 compliance, which is what all of our applications are compliant with, which
Uh-huh.
basically builds in those security settings to be able to handle, company sensitive or consumer sensitive information.
Okay. And the
And
other
SOC 2
question that I have,
oh,
I'm sorry,
I
I
was
can
just going to
come
say
back.
that SOC 2 is the assurance there that correct policies are in place for data handling, and
Okay.
that there's assurance there. So we've got a security white paper that covers everything about our data handling practices.
Okay, that's awesome. The other question that I have is, could this be used for someone who is working from home?
Yes, absolutely. In
Okay.
fact, that's in the work environment. I think it's a bit of a lift to go and try and find somebody who's available. Um, that's unpleasant. But in the home environment where you're working from home, that's where this just it speaks for itself. To be able
Mm-hmm.
to hit that hotkey, choose the group, and be I guess magically beaming into your work environment to all of the
Mm-hmm.
people who could potentially help you. Whoever's available first just picks up that call. It's such an obvious use case for I guess not having the feeling of isolation,
Mm-hmm.
and the even deeper, oh no, not again kind of feeling. It's
I run
it's
into that a lot.
you know that one, don't you? I
Yes, I
I always
do.
feel a little bit nervous because I don't know whether I'm going to speak to somebody who says, no, I've never had an accessibility problem in my entire life, actually. I'm doing just fine. But I'm sure
And
it's
I
going to
fall
happen one
into
of
an
these
IT
days.
department that knows nothing about accessibility, and
Absolutely.
I'm explaining to them about accessibility, and they're explaining to me about IT, and we've just kind of come to this agreement, like I'm going to turn permissions off, and I'm going to let you do what you got to do, and you're going to do and then I'm going to turn the permissions back on.
You do what you need to do, I'll do what I need to do, and
Yeah.
then we All right. So whilst Kearns was talking about security there, it allowed me to find a PDF. So I'm gonna okay. Workplace reader. This is a big problem. PDFs have always been a big problem. I So we decided we were gonna look at this problem of PDFs in the workplace. Um, and we actually ended up doing something that we didn't quite know that we were going to do, but it's quite magical. So with a screen reader, let's just say in an ideal world, we get sent a PDF that is accessible. And then you've got a 300-page document. Now, you've got to go through that 300-page document line by line by line by line. Maybe there's headings even that you can move by. Maybe there's chapters or something. But essentially, you're going line by line by line with a screen reader until you find the information that you want. Whereas now you've got an AI that's maneuvering this document with you, and you can point that in any direction that you want. So, we're going to upload this PDF, and we're going to get a sort of a summary back, and that's great. From that summary, it's going to say page one has this, page two has that, page three has that. And we can say, okay, great, give me all of the verbatim text on page three, and it's going to do that no problem. Um, but also, we can say, I am this person in this contract. What do I need to know? Please pull out all of the clauses that I need to know. I'm researching this. Out of this research paper, bring me all of the information that would be helpful to my research. And it's going to do it. So it's not about compiling, searching. It's not about sort of line by line by line, moving through that document, finding what you need, and then using it in some way. It's about asking what you want and then it's sort of an AI is going to help you to get that from the document. So it's a much, much, much more effective way of working with the document. You can get the text of the document, of course you can, as normal. But there's that better option there. So I'm going to turn my volume back up again. Okay.
Open.
And I'm going to submit this document.
Be My Eye.
This will probably
Medallion.
take.
Waiting for it.
You're exactly right. So it's rate limited as well. Security is slightly different. Sorry, security is much tighter on the workplace version.
From Be My Eye, 8:51 p.m. Cover page. A woman with light skin and dark hair sits at a desk, facing a large monitor with code or text on a dark background. Her hands rest on a keyboard and mouse. A long white cane with a red tip leans against the desk near her arm, indicating she is blind or low vision. The environment appears like a bright, modern office with a blurred window in the background. On the right side of the page, large blue text reads Be My Eye's Workplace, with the subtitle Making Work More Accessible for Blind and Low Vision Employees. In the lower right corner is the Be My Eyes logo, a circular radiating pattern resembling an eye or sunburst in blue, with the words Be My Eyes and a phrase for business. Page 2. The page describes the challenge and opportunity around employment for blind and low vision adults. The text states that over 70% of blind and low visioned adults.
Okay, so that's going to give us a summary of each page. And just so that you know, this was purposely, this was an inaccessible PDF that we created. Not to be purposely difficult, but just to show that when there's an inaccessible PDF, that this is what the AI can do with it. So we've had a short summary of what each page has. I'm going to ask a question, which
Messaging.
I'm gonna trust the AI. So it gives an answer that I just love very often, but not always.
Send message.
So I'm gonna ask it, please describe
the
photo. Oh, photo on page 7.
Get to message input.
So there's visual context about this photo that it should pick up.
Back. Keep chat. Share chat. Delete chat. 1 of 2 of 4. 3 of 4 from me. 4 of 4 from Be My Eye. 8:53 p.m. On page 7, the photo shows a close-up of a man outdoors, framed from about his shoulders up. He is holding a smartphone horizontally at about nose height, directly in front of his face. The phone is in camera mode and acts like a little window over part of his face. On the phone screen, you can clearly make out one of his eyes behind a pair of glasses, enlarged and in sharp focus. The real part of his face that is not covered by the phone is slightly out of focus, so your attention goes to the eye on the phone screen. He has light skin, short hair, and is smiling gently, giving a friendly, approachable expression. Behind him there is a soft, blurry background with greenery and what feels like an outdoor setting, maybe a park or garden. The overall effect is playful and symbolic. The phone literally becomes his eye, visually echoing the idea of Be My Eyes and how a smartphone camera can act as someone's eyes.
There we go. It did it. Something went right. I'm going to take a big sigh now. So what it did there to me is magical. It has understood. So for a sighted person, there's so much historical information and culture that goes into understanding a visual image and visual art. We don't get that. I miss out on that. Even if I got a technical description of that photo, I wouldn't understand what they were trying to say with the focus and the position of the phone and the eye. The AI has pulled out that visual context that I have never had access to, and it just got it. Even today, it managed it. So something went right, and I just love that it's able to get that. So PDFs. Okay. In education, you're going to get a PDF that's got graphs all over it. It's got charts all over it. Again, we can point the AI at it. It's great with data. That's what it does. So it can take that visual graph, that visual Gantt chart, the Venn diagram, whatever it is. It knows about all of those, and it can pull the data for us. in a way that could never be represented in alt text. There's no way that somebody could represent all of that data in text. That's why we have those visual charts. Flow charts, how would we follow all of the trees of, the tree branches of that flow chart and represent that in text? We can't do it. So the power of this is having the ability to get information, to get data that I just could not do before. And also, when I get sent an inaccessible PDF, I no longer need to go back to the person and say, please, please, will you do something about this inaccessible PDF? It's just, it's done for me because Workplace Reader is so good at this stuff. Even just things like pay slips, invoices, receipts, anything that has graphical kind of representation that screen readers even in OCR mode are historically terrible at, is where it's going to absolutely shine. And for a completely inaccessible PDF, obviously that's what it does. That's its bread and butter. We've seen this with an inaccessible PDF. It's managed to OCR everything, and it does it very nicely. And we can just get verbatim text. So that is Workplace Reader. I apologize that we had to get it through the speakers, and I apologize I had to restart VoiceOver 18 times to get it to even recognize the shortcut keys to slow down, but we got there in the end. Kearns, have you heard anything back about showing Workplace Connect?
Yeah, I think we just have to move on from that today, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
I think it's an easy concept to get. You make the call, you press your hotkeys, you choose your group, you make the call, you give permission. It's to people within your organization set up in groups, however you want to set them up and administer them. Whoever picks up first is the most available. It's a 45-second interaction and you're back on your way. They request access to your desktop. They then take control of your mouse, and they click the things they need to get you back on your way, and then you're back on your way. I mean, I think that the scalability of this, one person can be supporting many people here. There can be one person who is signed in, and maybe there's 10, 20, 30 blind people who are not going to need help with remote desktop very often. But when we do, it makes such an enormous difference to be able to just get that help and get back on your way. So the ease of that interaction is what that's all about. Workplace AI, there's a few other little tools there that I didn't show because got thrown aside. But so we've got screenshot. We just take a picture of the screenshot. We can ask questions about that. We've got image, anything that is on an image, a JPEG, that type of thing, you just upload. Clipboard, anything that you find on the web, copy it to your clipboard. Hotkeys, it's in the AI, you can ask questions about it, any image you find. And the webcam, as you saw. So getting prepared for meetings is what I use that one for. So there is, I sort of said at the beginning, there was that history tab. And we didn't plan for this, but it's just a wonderful feature that we got for free. So you've got Be My Eyes signed in on your phone. Well, there's a much more powerful camera on your phone than there is on your laptop. And I've been in many meeting rooms, and I've had to sort of co-opt the person next to me into kind of describing the brainstorming session that's going on the whiteboard or on the flip chart, or it's a thing. And I just feel so different when I'm leaning over to the person next to me, go, what is that? It's not how I'd prefer to do things. Whereas here, what you do is you just point your camera at the flip chart in the general direction. You take a photo with that really high power camera, and then it appears in your history on your desktop machine. And then you can be working with that image just as if you'd taken it from your desktop machine. But obviously you've got the power of that much more powerful camera. There's other things as well. So I don't know whether anybody here has Ray-Ban Meta or Oakley Meta glasses. But if you do, you can also make calls because you've got groups calling now from the Ray-Ban or the Oakley glasses. You can ask them by voice to call the group from the glasses, and they will place that call through your phone, and you've now got that hands-free wearable experience back into your workplace colleagues. So let's say you arrive at a convention or a meeting or I don't know, a place that you don't know, you've been dropped off by a taxi or something. How do you get to the place that you need to be, whether it's the door, whether it's the meeting room, whether it's the stand in a convention hall or something? You can just place that call out to the group. Somebody within the group can take the call, and they can speak to you through their machine. They can see you on their desktop. Well, they can see what you're seeing through your glasses camera, and they can just direct you where you need to go. Again, that was something that we didn't really design. We just so happened to be working on groups with Meta for the call a volunteer feature, and we managed to get this in with the workplace product. For me, I've been dropped off by a taxi. I have no idea where I am. Please, can you help me find the door? That was the save me moment when I realized the power of it. But I mean, everybody here, you'll have an idea of how a wearable could be useful in a workplace environment. But I think that in a very disjointed and roundabout way kind of sums up and shows you all of the features of Be My Eyes Workplace. Kearns, do you want to add anything, or is there any, maybe we could go to questions?
No, I think
Yeah,
that's
right. If we want to, sorry,
I know
didn't
you've been dealing
interrupt.
with questions back and in text. So.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I think we had a question from Atch.
Yeah, so it
Atch is
depends what you were trying to do with that. So you would probably be better off with the normal Be My Eyes application if you just wanted it for an outside of a work call. But you could absolutely set up people external from your workplace to as another group. So say, as you said, your church group. If you wanted to have that, and as long as your employer was okay with it, if you wanted to have that as one of your groups, you could absolutely make calls out to that group.
I know we're at time. I can stay on a bit longer here, but I did want to see. I think Atch has had their hand up for.
Okay.
Yeah, you referring to me?
Yes, I'm seeing all I'm seeing on your screen is ATCH.
Yeah, I don't know what its deal is, but anyway, I am Jeff, and I'm in Rochester, New York. I actually was in the ATI program about 20 years ago, but I work for a medical center right now on a per diem basis, and I'm hoping to move to something with more responsibility. Where, and you answered one of my questions about HIPAA, because we're really strict about it here in the States. I mean, penalties are stiff if you mess that up, but
as they should be, right?
But it's are you ever going to have live AI integrated into the Be My Eyes glasses, so so you can work around, like, if you're in a strange place?
So
Yeah,
are you
Andy.
asking about a live AI model that's streaming from the glasses?
Yeah.
Okay. You and everybody else, including me, we're working on it, Jeff. We're working on it. It's so you might remember a video that I did in London a couple of years ago. Did you see that? Okay, so when GPT-4o was launched, I got to use it in London, and I had what you're describing. It was incredible. I streamed from my phone, and it was just telling me what was happening. It was just describing everything that was going on. Unfortunately, we still don't have that. We were told we would have it very soon. We still don't have it, but it is something that we are very, very, very actively working on to try and get it to you as soon as possible. I know I want it. We are trialing different ways of getting it working in a way that is scalable and not, an entire data center for a single person.
Now,
So it is coming, but don't know when just yet.
now, what about dealing with databases? Because we've got something here called electronic medical records, and I've heard good things and bad things about it. How
Um,
will how will can Be My Eyes Workplace work and help with those databases that are kind of tricky?
so what are you thinking? Are you thinking about you've got a lot of data on the screen
Yeah,
and
like
you're
with
trying
medical
to make
charts
sense
and
of it?
medical records.
So I think what you're describing, it would be the ideal tool for. I'm a little bit concerned that you're thinking more back end, an interface that we don't have hooks into, we don't have APIs to be able to go back end in that database, and we don't want that. But if it's on the screen, if it's data on the screen, it will work with it very, very effectively indeed. I would say give
Uh,
it a go.
okay, now when I go to interviews, and it doesn't have to be necessarily be in this organization, but anytime I bring along my laptop and I've got a Mantis Braille display, and I've
Hmm.
even got an 80 cell one in the other room that I got secondhand.
Oof,
And
piano.
I'll bring all those goodies there. Is there a way I can download Be My Eyes for Workplace? And I'd like to demonstrate that to interviewers. What we're running across now is that a lot of the managers and people like that, I think, know that the technology out there exists, but they just don't know how to implement it.
Right. So are you proposing bringing it on your Mantis, for example, or?
Well, on my laptop, because I
Yep,
take my
okay.
laptop to
So
job interviews, and
absolutely, as long as you've got a Wi-Fi connection, Jeff, you can
okay,
absolutely do
yeah,
that. Yep,
yeah, my workplace, my laptop knows all about my workplace AI,
yep.
or
So
my Wi-Fi, I should say. But yeah, that would be a great thing to demonstrate to a potential hiring manager, and also I'll probably print out your white papers and give that to them at the
yeah,
interview.
I mean, do that because so Jeff, you are hitting on two incredibly important points here. One of them is you turn up for an interview. How do you reassure that person who you're interviewing with that, it's going to be a nice, easy ride? Um, Being able to demonstrate the tools that you use, as you say, you've got an 80 cell. That's pretty impressive, right? They can
Hmm.
see you sat there with your 80 cell focus, I assume it's a focus, and you're just reading the text that you need. They can see you working with data, with information. There's an inaccessible part of your job. How do you deal with that? You've got the technology, you can show it to them. Be My Eyes Workplace, as I say, is designed to step in where the screen reader just can't cover. So yeah, by all means.
Yeah, and if we run across concerns, we're gonna, at least me and my rehab counselor and some other people, we're just gonna hound the sparrow about getting a script done for a program that just
Yeah.
that's in wide use in the healthcare industry here. And
Yeah. I mean, the problem, Jeff, is that there's many, many, many times that we need a script writing, and we're talking thousands each time we want one writing. And in the real world that we live in, we haven't got those scripts. They can't all be written. If it's one thing that we need doing, we can go to Vispero and say, "Can you just write this script? Here's 10 grand," and they're going to do that for us. But you know, what we've got with Workplace is much more flexible.
okay,
So it's not about fixing that one thing, because if it's something that you do, 10 times a day, you're going to go and get that script written because it's worth the money to do it. But where you don't know the accessibility problems that you're going to come up against in any particular day, there's a tool here that you can just hit a hotkey and you're on with somebody who can see, who can just maneuver you around that accessibility issue. You're back along on your way. So where it's predictable, where we know that there's going to be you're going to need this 10 times a day, we're going to go and get it done with Vispero, we're going to pay the money. That's one way to solve the problem. Where we don't know the accessibility problems that are going to come up, that's where Workplace is going to step in.
right, right. And like I said, I've heard good things and bad things about the EMR program. And yeah, and when I have any future interviews with jobs that I've just applied for, and there's one hospital within our network that I'm actually going to go to and apply in person. I'll bring my goodies there and show them what I've got, the HR person. So when it does eventually go to a hiring manager, the HR person could say, "Hey, we got this person who's blind,"
that reassurance.
and and they showed me their technology. I want you to interview them so they can, number one, see if I'm qualified enough for the job, and number two, how I would get that done.
Other
Absolutely.
people
Well, listen, good luck with it. Kearns, have we got anybody else that's trying to
Yes.
get in
Okay.
for okay,
All right.
awesome. Jeff, good luck with it.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi there.
Sandy from Colorado. Quick,
Hey there,
two
Sandy.
questions. A, is there a fee for this service? And B, what do you do if you don't have phone dialing access from your computer or PC in my case?
So there is a fee for this service. It's reduced for blindness organizations, so that would obviously apply. What do you mean by phone dialing access? Do you mean internet connection through your Wi-Fi hotspot on your phone?
Well, I've got a PC. I work from a PC. It does not happen to have a dialing function. So I'd have to have some alternate way to dial for the services.
You should be able to, so the dialing doesn't actually, it doesn't really use the same technology as like a phone call, whether that's like a using cell signal or Wi-Fi. It uses WebRTC handling.
Okay.
So as long as you've got an internet connection, you're good. You don't need phone dialing capability from your laptop. We handle all of that for you. That's what this is for, right? So as long as you've got that internet connection, we do everything else.
And then the cost, if you're associated with the blind organization, would be?
Kearns, you want to take that?
Sure. Yeah. So there's two different tiers of this product. The more expensive tier for nonprofits is $45 per month per user. And that tier includes like single sign-on. That's really the main difference there, which is kind of a security feature for signing on. The lower tier is $30 per month per user. So pretty reasonable. And, we've said that if the entire organization signs up and, they have all their blind or low vision employees using this, we'll of course give like a pretty substantial discount on that.
So the top dollar is 45 and then the lower price is 30.
Yes.
Is that a year contract or is it month to month?
That is a year. Yeah. We can set it up for, in terms of billing, we could do billing. We prefer not to do monthly billing just because it kind of tends to add paperwork for everybody. But yes, the term is for a year. And that the prices that I gave you, that's 50% off of what the normal like retail price is. So if we're talking to a for-profit organization or an enterprise, it's $90 a month and then $60 a month.
Okay. And how do we go about doing that?
Yeah. So anybody on the call, if you're interested in, first, we offer a 2-week free trial. So it's super, super easy to set up. You can try it out for 2 weeks. If you like it, great. If you don't, also okay. Please send me an email. It's kernslane, KERNSLANE bemyeyes.com. And I will also just drop that in the chat so everyone can copy and paste it if you'd like.
And we'll make
Okay,
sure that gets
somehow
in the show
Jaws does
notes.
not like to read those things.
What's that?
Somehow Jaws does not like to read those things. So
Oh, in the chat, yeah. Did you get my email though? Kernslane?
somebody sent an email. I don't know if it was you, but thank you. I know where to go now. Thank you. I know
You
other
got
people have questions.
You got it.
Awesome.
And we'll make sure that information gets posted in the show notes as well when we put this webinar up on our YouTube channel so that that information is readily available.
Yeah, I think we have one more hand raised we might have time for.
Yep, I think it says M Moat.
Hi, everyone. Thanks
Hey.
for the webinar. Wanted to ask, I put a question in the chat, and I don't know that it was abundantly clear what I was asking regarding the PDF feature where it's reading. So inevitably, sometimes we get these deals where we're trying to read the PDF, and that's a great feature. But if it's asking for information from us, are we able to, with your feature, are we able to find where we're supposed to enter that information and put it in? I'm not expecting AI to know what I'm going to need to put in.
So
Yeah.
right this precise moment in time, that's not something that we do, but we are really, really, really actively looking at doing exactly that in the relatively short term. So we're looking at agentic ways of inputting data onto, for example, a form, a tax return. You need to enter your details. How are you meant to do that? They're not accessible. Those PDFs largely. They're meant to be, but I think I've heard that they're not. So that's something that we are trialing right now, and I think there's going to be something coming fairly soon.
But to your question, it should be able to. I mean, Andy, do you know if your cursor is in a certain place?
Okay.
Tell you that it's in. Your cursor's on the signature field right now, or
strictly speaking, yes. What you could do is, as you say, screenshot. Where's my cursor? Screenshot. Where's my cursor? Screenshot. Where's my cursor? It will do it. But it's not a feature that we could sort of advertise at the moment, because although it will do it, it's not the best way of doing things, I guess. I mean, I'm used to finding accessibility workarounds all day long, right? We all are. Where there's a capability here that didn't exist before, I guess we can say that it does it. It will tell you where your cursor is. And if you can tab around, or you can move your mouse cursor, you can ask it, where am I writing? Have I entered this text correctly? You can absolutely do that. But it's not the way that we want it to exist. That's what we're looking at the moment, is a more robust, easy, it knows who you are. It just enters your information, and it does it all completely automatically. So that's what we're looking into at the moment. But yes, you can just ask questions about where you are on the screen.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Andy and Kearns. We really appreciate your time and the demonstration today. This has been great. I know I was excited when I saw it back in March, and I'm excited again getting to see it now. So again, thank you so much for joining us. To everybody who's out there on the call, thank you for joining us today. BeMyEyes.com is the website that you can go to check out the Workplace app, download information about it, or just any other news and information you might want to know about Be My Eyes. And if you are someone who has an open VR case and you're ready to try to get back into the workforce or into the workforce for the first time, give us a call. We might be able to help you find a vocational path and learn how to use all these tools that are out there that can assist you in the workplace. So you can check out our website at wsblind.org or call 501-664-7100, and we would be happy to talk to you. Again, you can check out our YouTube channel to get this webinar once we have it posted in a couple of days, along with all of the rest of the employment series that we've had so far.
Oh, yes. And I do just want to say, I want to express gratitude to you all for coming in here and being so understanding and ready to just be in the face of the next round of innovation, which is just so incredible. You all work so hard in VR or not. And I just want you to know that I'm very grateful for y'all, and I'm very grateful that we were able to come together and really hash this out and see all the incredible stuff that's coming forward and what can be happening next.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Hey, thank you so much from everybody here at Be My Eyes, and apologies for the technical issues.
No
Yeah,
problem.
thank
We
you all.
understand.
Oh, yeah.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, everybody, for joining us, and we will look forward to seeing you at the next webinar in our employment series. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.